career. It's a debut novel, and this one is already planned to be a trilogy. So nice. It does include broad themes of immigration, the wrench of leaving a homeland, coming to a new place, a new home, the good, the bad, the challenges of that, hardship and triumph, family, love, love lost, love found, exactly what some of you saw, oppression by race, slavery, gender, and triumphing over that. And it spans the first wave of Irish immigration to New York through the end of the Civil War. And the war has an impact clearly on all of these characters. Introduces four characters, four main characters, two parallel love stories, many wonderful minor characters, by the way. Rich historical culture picture of the time, and that's some of the books you'll see around too. And the author is from New York, but as it happens, the tale also has settings in places that we will all recognize: Red Hook, Cooperstown in New York City. And so we got the local part. We got ourselves back north. These four voices work throughout the book. They eventually collide, and a Kirkus reviewer described it as a quintessentially American story of adversity and triumph. It's an epic, which is a genre that we haven't done before. And the way these characters come and meet, enough? One and a half. So the 2013 book, The Tale for Three Counties, is Peter Troy. Peter Troy, may the road rise up to meet you.
Then she smiles to think of the way he says it, like it's a long-lost love he'd left behind. Ah, the old country. Why don't I ever think of España that way, she thinks. Only a Beulah would ever think of it in that way. And I spent as much time in España as he spent in Ireland. Maybe because we never suffered from the hunger. And she laughs to herself a little now to think of the funny way he has of calling things. The hunger, the father, the old country, the penance, and of course, Ma'am, and Da, and Aunt Em, and me Bruder Shawnee, and dear Aislinn, rest her soul. And she starts to amuse herself now by forming sentences from the words and phrases that have warmed her own heart in these past few weeks, imagining him saying, "Oh, back in the old country, before the hunger, when it was just me and Da and Mom and Aunt Em and me Bruder Shawnee, and dear Aislinn, rest her soul. I once told a lie and had to go to the Father for the penance, and sure didn't he tell me to say 2 Hail Marys and 3 Our Fathers." And now she laughs loud enough to be aware that she could be heard if there were anyone in the hallway. But there's no one, of course. It's still well before 5. And aside from a few nurses standing night shift in the wards and the guards outside, there will be no one stirring for another half hour at least. She walks to the end of the hallway, admiring, as always, the elaborate design of the woodwork, thinking about what a nice place this must have been before it was turned into a hospital. Before it became haunted, she thinks. Ethan said he'd heard a rumor that this was the place where General Lee once courted his wife. She thinks, well, they're welcome to have it back.
Butter.